Plato believed that most people live their lives mistaking shadows for reality. They chase what appears important. They fear what looks threatening. They compare themselves to what others seem to have, and without realizing it, they drift further away from who they truly are. If you are past 60, you may feel that much of your life was spent responding rather than choosing. Responding to expectations, responding to responsibilities, responding to the roles life placed upon you. Plato would say, "This is not failure. This is the human condition." He taught that the soul does not lose itself suddenly. It forgets itself slowly, day by day, choice by choice, until one morning you wake up and feel a quiet question rising. Is this really my life? Plato believed that this question is the beginning of wisdom. In his famous allegory of the cave, he described people who have lived their entire lives watching shadows on a wall. They believe the shadows are all that exist because the shadows are familiar, predictable, safe. If you are past 60, you may feel that the shadows once called success no longer satisfy you. The applause is gone. The urgency has faded. The roles have loosened. And what remains is silence. Plato would say, this silence is not emptiness. It is space. Space for the soul to remember itself. He believed that the later years of life are not about acquiring more knowledge, but about remembering what the soul has always known, that you are more than your occupation, more than your mistakes, more than your productivity, more than your past. You are a being capable of truth, of goodness, of inner clarity. Plato called this the turning of the soul, not a dramatic revolution, but a slow reorientation, turning away from what merely appears valuable toward what is truly meaningful. If you are past 60, you may feel that your attention is shifting inward without effort. You think less about proving, more about understanding, less about winning, more about peace. Plato would say, this is the soul beginning to face the light. The light, in his philosophy, was not harsh. It did not blind. It revealed. It revealed what had been hidden by noise and speed. He believed that truth is gentle. It does not force itself upon you. It waits until you are ready. And readiness, Plato believed, comes with time. He taught that the soul matures when it is no longer distracted by imitation, when you stop living someone else's version of a good life. If you are past 60, you may feel that comparison has begun to lose its grip on you. Other people's paths feel less relevant. Other people's opinions feel quieter. This is not indifference. It is freedom. Plato believed that the highest task of life is to care for the soul, not the ego, not the image. The soul. Caring for the soul means asking honest questions. What do I value now? What feels true to me? What brings calm rather than tension? What kind of person do I wish to be? In the time that remains, he believed that a good life is one aligned with inner truth, not excitement, not constant pleasure, but harmony. Harmony between thought and action, desire and restraint, outer life and inner life. If you are past 60, you may feel that harmony matters more than achievement ever did. You want fewer things, but deeper ones. Fewer conversations, but more honest ones. Fewer days filled with noise, but more days filled with meaning. Plato would say, this is the soul coming into balance. He believed that when the soul is balanced, life becomes simpler, not easier, but clearer. You stop fighting yourself. You stop chasing what does not fit. You stop regretting who you were. Instead, you begin to accept the shape of your life as it actually is. Plato taught that wisdom is not rejecting the past, but understanding it, seeing how every experience, even the painful ones, shaped your capacity to see more clearly now. If you are past 60, you may feel that regrets arise more often, but hurt less sharply. They come as memories, not as wounds. Plato would say, this is healing. The soul is not trying to punish you. It is trying to integrate your life into a meaningful whole. He believed that the later years are when integration becomes possible. You can hold joy and sorrow together, pride and humility together, strength and softness together. You no longer need to divide yourself. This, Plato believed, is the soul's return to wholeness. He taught that the good life is not about escaping the world, but about seeing it clearly, seeing what matters, seeing what does not, seeing what deserves your energy, seeing what can be released. If you are past 60, you may feel that your patience has deepened even as your tolerance for nonsense has faded. This is discernment. Plato valued discernment above cleverness. He believed that a wise person does not react immediately. They pause. They reflect. They choose. Choice, not impulse, is the mark of a free soul. And freedom, Plato believed, is not doing whatever you want. It is wanting what is truly good. Good for your peace. Good for your character. Good for your relationships. Good for your remaining years. If you are past 60, you may feel that goodness now feels quieter than ambition ever was. But it feels more real. Plato would say, this is because goodness belongs to the soul, not to the ego. He believed that as the soul turns toward truth, life becomes less dramatic and more meaningful. You do not need to make a grand statement with your life. You need to live truthfully. Truthfully in how you speak. Truthfully in how you treat others. Truthfully in how you care for yourself. If you are past 60, you may feel that authenticity matters more than approval. This is the soul standing upright. Plato believed that the final task of life is not to be admired, but to be aligned. Aligned with your values. Aligned with your nature. Aligned with what you know to be right. He taught that when alignment is present, peace follows naturally. Not happiness as excitement, but peace as steadiness. Peace that does not depend on circumstances. Peace that remains, even when life is uncertain. This is the peace Plato believed the soul was always seeking. Not outward success, not endless activity, but inner clarity. If you are past 60, you may feel that clarity is now more accessible than ever before, because you have lived enough to see through illusion. The shadows no longer convince you. The noise no longer seduces you. You are ready to face the light. And the light, Plato would remind you, has always been within reach. You simply had to turn toward it. Your later years are not a decline. They are a turning away from appearances, a turning toward truth, a turning away from performance, a turning toward presence, a turning away from accumulation, a turning toward understanding. This is the philosopher's life, Plato believed, not reserved for scholars, but available to anyone willing to examine their life. And you, having lived as long as you have, are uniquely prepared to do exactly that.